Well, hello there. How you doing? I hope you're having a fabulous day, but I hope you're having an even better year. And I heard that you're interested in jumping into the real estate investment world. The idea of quitting your 9-to-5 job is enticing for you because you do not have enough money to pay bills at the end of the month. Or maybe, just maybe, the idea of creating a long-term passive income approach to acquire rental property is also appealing for you. Or maybe you're just very simple and you want to travel and see the world and be on the beach somewhere, drinking margaritas or out of a coconut with you and your family members and repeating the process over again. My name is Rick Moreno and I'm the owner and broker of Moreno Real Estate Group, and in the past decade I've had the opportunity to flip in more than 150 properties or acquiring rental property to sustain long-time passive income. And it is my hope that if you like the contents of this video that you do me a solid and hit the thumbs up and also hit subscribe. So let's get after it, guys. Buying rental property versus flipping. Let's get it. Welcome to my Wealth Talk Show, everyone, where my goal is to provide you the tips and tools needed for your personal development, financial literacy, retirement building, and of course, real estate. Okay, so let's get into it. Which one is a better course of action for you and your family? Buying rental property or flipping homes? I can't tell you exactly what to do because each and every single person comes in with their own personality traits, behavioral habits, risk-taking ability, financial discipline, or lack of financial discipline. But what I can be is a compass or a guide for you and your family to see which route, whether it be the flipping game or the renting game, as to which would be the best course of action for you. And to do that, guys, I need your help answering some basic questions. So let's begin. The first one is, what skill sets do you possess? Are you a handyman? Are you great at construction work? Are you an analyzer? Do you know how to analyze numbers? Are you a networker and can gather a team together? Are you a risk taker? Are you not a risk taker? Those are unique traits and skills that are very important in helping you determine which route is better, flipping versus renting. Second question, what kind of personality do you possess? And also your team member if you're doing joint venture work. Are you a roller coaster adrenaline junkie? Do you like the highs and also the lows? Or are you a little bit more conservative in your approach and you want consistency and stability in your investment product? This will help you also determine whether it be flipping, the adrenaline rush, or also stability, rental property as a better course for you. Number 3, guys, how much time or lack of time do you envision having in the next immediate months? The reason being, flipping involves an intensive crash course of your schedule. Whereas renting, for that matter, if done correctly, you could do spot treatment in your time schedule. Very important. And the last one, number 4, what is your current financial state? Do you have a ton of debt? Do you have down payment for purchase of a property? Do you have capital for the renovation project? That will help you determine where you need to go, flipping and renting as well. Now that we've uncovered the basic questions that will help guide you and your family, whether it be flipping or renting as a better course of action for you, let's jump into it, guys. The pros and cons versus renting property and flipping. All right, guys, let's head over to the board here real quick. We have rentals versus flipping. We're gonna talk about the pros, the cons for both renting and also flipping, and get into some cool details. Hopefully you get some great information out of this. The first one, guys, let's focus on the rental aspect first. Number 1, huge tax savings. There are so many ways in which you can navigate through the tax code law and get huge deductions when it comes to renting property. The first one that I put down here, mortgage interest. That is, if you still have a loan on your particular rental property, you could deduct the mortgage interest as well. Depreciation and very important, repairs. You could use that as a deduction as well. And a new one, guys, I want you guys to put an asterisk next to this one while you're taking your notes out, is what's called the pass-through tax deduction. Implemented in 2018, but it will end, according to what I see in my information book, in 2025, but you could use it for rental properties. And last but not least, property insurance, guys, is also another item that you could use as a deduction on your income tax. Okay, guys, there's so many more. I highly recommend this book, guys. It says How to Pay Zero in Taxes. Every year they're doing a new edition. It is super big, but what I do is just kind of skim through topics of potential deductions that I may be missing for the year. This is a great book, guys. Great read for those people who are looking to lower the tax threshold. Okay, the second one, guys, appreciation. The value can increase in your rental property throughout the course of time. Let's say you own a property for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You're collecting rental income, which is great. That's number 3. We'll talk about that shortly. But then let's say you bought property for easy numbers. Let's say you bought the property for $200,000. And in the course of 5, 6, 7 years, that property is now appreciated to $260,000. That is great value for you. Okay, which leads you to the next bullet item. It allows you to pull the equity and potentially sell for a profit. So you've done 2 things. You've collected rental income throughout the course of those 5, 6, 7 years. But then at the year 7, you have a major shift in your life. You had to relocate. You are downsizing, you're upsizing in your personal lifestyle. And all of a sudden now you have a nice little nest egg and profit egg that you could then take advantage of. So this is really good. Number 3, guys, money, and consistent money. Cash flow. This is a great opportunity for you guys to make some money as you guys are collecting rental income. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. But the mystery one that a lot of people don't use, this particular one, I put a big star next to it on your notepad, guys. It's called the RELOC. It stands for Real Estate Line of Credit. Once again, I'll repeat it. Real Estate Line of Credit. What it is it gives you the ability to borrow money against the value in order to reinvest and buy property. So for easy numbers, a bank will lend you what's called ARV value. So let's say you have a property that's valued at $100,000. They could lend you up to 70 to 80% of the ARV. So that means they will allow you to pull $70,000 to $80,000 so that you could reinvest and buy potential property. In essence, you're playing with monopoly money, which is super fun. The rule is pretty simple. It cannot be your primary residence, number 1, and you could still rent the property and collect rental income. So the beauty about this, guys, is I'm collecting cash flow, but I am using that money to buy other property with cash. And then guess what? Then I could turn over to the flipping game. Okay, super interesting. I'll focus a whole lesson on RELOC, and this particular trade has allowed me to make a lot of money throughout the course of my investment career. Number 5, guys, and this is one reason why I do love rental property at the current moment, is it is recession proof. After 2008, after the market crash, every flipper was losing money by the droves, guys. Not the case if you had passive income coming through your books. The reason why it is recession proof, guys, 3 very important reasons, especially the last one. Number 1, lack of financial discipline amongst Americans. People have horrible credit and they do not know how to save. As a result, unfortunately, they will always keep landowners super wealthy when it comes to acquiring rental income. The second one, guys, temporary moves. There's people that have certain job professions, maybe graphic designers, maybe videographers, maybe doctors, whatever the case may be, an engineer or project development. You're talking about people that have moved to a specific city, but they know it's only for a certain contractual period. And those people, they're not going to want to stay in that city. They're going to want to rent. And that's why that's a great opportunity for people. Recession proof. And the third one, if you live in a metroplex or in a city where there is a military base, guys, gold. You will always have potential clients looking to rent your property, therefore recession proof. All right, guys, now let's focus on the cons. I got 5 cons in here. Let's focus on the first one. Number 1, bad tenants. Stress, cause gray hair, cause to lose your hair. The reason why bad tenants is a major con, guys, they can trash the place, but more importantly, they could skip out and not pay rent. And I didn't have room to put the third one, guys, eviction court. That's super stressful, takes your time and costs a lot of money, okay? The third one, guys, property management. The main reason why I'm not a huge fan of property management is because it decreases your cash flow. So I'll teach you in the next segment where how to manage your property will be effective for you. Number 3, guys, repairs. You have to set money aside and create a buffer zone for the just-in-case event, and that will cost you financial discipline. Number 4, guys, bad weather. It is assumed that you're going to be owning your property for a longer course of time than when you're flipping a property. So as a result, the probability of you having a bad weather event is super high. Wind, hail, flooding, and mega storms, depending on the location of where you live in this country. If you're in California, you're going to have earthquakes. If you're in the Midwest, you're going to have tornadoes. If you're in the East Coast or southeastern coast of the country, you're going to have potential tropical storms and monsoons and hurricanes. So those are events that will really hinder your pocketbook at the end of the day. Number 5, guys, and this topic, I'm going to literally spend a whole session on it on next episode. Super important, highest and best use, okay? And I wrote down here, guys, single family versus multifamily. People think that when they're renting a single family home, meaning it's just for one family, that they are still collecting rent. But in its purest form, guys, the highest and best use of single family is for a family to live there. It's not for you to collect rental income. And the reason why is one eviction, one bad tenant, and now you are left without any money at the end of the month. And that's why I don't believe single family homes are the best use of rental income. That's why I would always recommend, if you can, to go into the duplex game, triplex, quadplex, templex, and you get the point, guys. Single family homes have the high probability, guys, of negative cash flowing as a result, because all you need is one bad family and then you're out of luck. The third item, when I'm talking about highest and best use, guys, there's a way that I'm going to teach you guys in the next episode when we're talking about highest and best use to supercharge or put a steroid shot into your rental game when it comes to strictly single family homes. That has made me great sustainable income throughout my investment career. The first one, the new invention or the new craze of Airbnb, the ability to potentially rent property for a higher daily rate, and even if you have vacancy, the higher daily rate will surpass the vacancy and you'll make a ton of money. Second of all, renting property to the elderly, more expensive, more profitable for you, and very simple as well. Or buying property in vacation destinations. Places like California, Florida, New York, Chicago, Miami, all those different places, you could charge uber crazy dollars when it comes to vacation destinations. But my favorite one, guys, which is a lot more simple to do, because vacation destinations, you have to put a lot of money in the upgrades. People want luxury in vacation destinations. But this one, student housing, minimal repairs initially. I love student housing because let's say you have one home. It's a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom home. The highest and best use of it is for a single family to live in it. It is not for you to rent it. So unfortunately, what happens? If you rent a 4-bedroom home to a family, you could probably get $1,000. But what if those 4 bedrooms are treated like individual units? So let me walk you through that. You then rent it to 4 different students and you rent it out by the room. So then you rent it out by maybe $300 or $400. For easy course of math, let's do $400. So 400 times 4 is now $1,600. And the better thing is, then you ask their parents to co-sign in case the student skips out on rent. So now you're positive cash flowing $600 more than if you were just renting it out to one family. That's my trick when it comes to single family homes that will go into greater detail on highest and best use. So those are the pros, those are the cons for renting property. Now let's jump into the exciting world of flipping, guys. Number 1, flipping. I want you guys to write this down, guys. It says 1-1-1 rule. My mentor taught me this. Yeah, there's rules that change according to this, but the 1-1-1 rule is pretty simple. The first one is 1 month. It should take you maybe approximately 1 month for you to analyze, find, and search for the correct property to flip. Once you acquire that property, it should take you another month, if you're good, to renovate the property. If it takes you anywhere from 3 to 4 months, you bought too much that you could chew. The third rule is marketing and the sale of the property. It takes you 1 month to potentially market a property and get that property under escrow. So in essence, if you do the right job, 1-1-1 equals 3 months, at the most 4 months. Anything over 6 months is I don't like it. You're probably losing money on holding costs. 1-1-1 rule. Remember that. Quick money. Number 2, replacing your job. Depending on where you're at in the country, guys, the average flip can make you anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. There's some people that say that they can make $100,000, but I think you have to be in a big metroplex and you have to know exactly what you're doing, and that's in the higher price tags. And people forget that they think that they know exactly what closing costs are going to be covered on the front and also on the back end. Commissions, closing costs, title fees. Some people don't know how to understand those things. So let's just say for our numbers that the average flip is $25,000 to $50,000. And let's say you make $50,000. The average salary maybe in America anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000. Let's just say you're making $50,000 a year. If you flip just 4 homes a year, that's nothing crazy. That's nothing crazy, just 4 homes a year. 25,000 times 4, you now have the ability to be making $100,000, 6 figures by just flipping 4 homes. Allows you to quit your job much quicker. Number 3, guys, can become a system with repetition and the right team. If you have the right designers, the right people to analyze your property, and more importantly, the right realtors to help you acquire these properties, it could be a very unique system where it becomes repetitive. With that said, guys, this one can also become a con if you're not careful. I put team needed. It is a bona fide business approach when you're doing flipping. It is hard-nosed, 3 months in, 3 months out. You're in and out the door. And guys, you need to establish some money aside for marketing. You also need a back office. So what I mean by a back office, you're gonna have tons of receipts. You're gonna have to pay your contractors. That's super vital and essential when you're developing a great flipping game. More importantly, guys, you will need contractors. Unfortunately, sometimes contractors are a dime a dozen. They promise you the moon and the stars, and then they let you dry. Sometimes they only want to get paid, and sometimes they're not on time, or maybe sometimes they don't finish the project the way you want to. Make sure you hire the right contractors. Wholesalers are super vital to your investment cycle because you do not have enough time to find properties, and a wholesaler will help you locate and find the good deal. Just make sure that they know how to analyze property on the front end because they're going to collect an assignment fee and you don't want them to eat completely up into your profit, okay? So make sure you know how to analyze property correctly. And the last thing, guys, realtors. This is super and vital to your success as a flipper. You know, the preamble of the Constitution says, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Not the case when it comes to realtors. Unfortunately, not all realtors are created equal. Some know how to open the doors, some are great and high-producing realtors, but not everyone knows how to break, decompose, and unlayer the world of investing when it comes to real estate. So you want to make sure that when you're hiring a realtor to either help you find the deal or also sell the deal, you want to make sure that they have an investment background built into them. The second big con when it comes to flipping property is taxes. This was actually a pro when it came to renting property. But here you are taxed much higher on flipping property. Capital gains is super important here, guys. But I will have you guys put an asterisk. I wrote down here 1031 tax exchange. It allows you to defer capital gains as long as you invest in like-kind property, which is a whole different other topic, and we'll get into it. Make sure you hire an accountant and make sure your real estate and title company are all on the same board when it comes to explaining those ins and outs of the 1031 tax exchange, okay? Number 3, hard to find deals, which brings you back to having a good wholesaler in your pocket and making sure you have an amazing realtor like our company to help you find those deals, okay? Guys, a little bit of information just on this one. It's becoming a lot harder to find property on the MLS because everyone across America is all into these crazy flipping shows. So as a result, by the time it hits the MLS, that property is already watered down. Too many hands have touched it. Now you're having to pay commission on the front and commission on the back end, guys. Not the best of choices all the time. There's still some, but not all the time. Number 4, budget versus design. You need to be good at both. It's very easy for you to renovate and design an amazing property if you have a ton of money. If you give me $1 million, I'm going to make that property look amazing. But that is not the case. You have to have the skill set to design an amazing space within the confinement of a budget. That is difficult and that is not easy. Number 5, guys, not recession proof. Unlike recession proof over here with the rental side. When the market shifts or crashes, it leaves you in the hole. You will potentially be in a position where you have paid too much for your property, especially if you consider a huge renovation budget. So make sure, guys, but at the end of the day, no risk it equals no biscuit. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have. And if you have, guys, don't forget, make sure you like and press the big thumbs up, guys. Big thumbs up, and also hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell everyone that you need to help this fresh new channel out. This is Rick Moreno, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.